Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, I'm here to talk about the first week of February, and as usual, things are getting really heated up. So I'm going to be going day by day, looking at where the moon is relative to all the other planets, and basically I can tell you what's going on as a world, what we're all feeling, because the planets are relative to all of us here on Earth right now. Now, I want you to also, if you will, down below, tell me where you're viewing from. I'd love to know around the world where everyone is. Now, I am going to be basing this on the Central Time Zone, Central Standard Time Zone. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. So everything that I'm talking about with the timing of these events, it's going to be Central Time. So with that, let's begin and let's get going. And one more thing, what I'm doing is looking at where the planets are in the heavens. If you want to know how this affects you personally with your own individual birth chart, then you're going to want to get my galactic planner, because it does that. It takes everything I'm doing here and puts it into your chart, and you will know exactly what's going to be happening for you personally, being guided by the stars. So go to galacticplanner.com to get your planner for yourself. And of course, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and look at all the things I'm offering. Free downloads from my predictions. You can get my insights as well as my Patreon page. And don't forget, if you want to study with me, semester 1 is beginning in February. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. So now I'm looking at Sunday, February 1st, and this is the full moon. And this full moon is quite bright because, well, it's in the sign of Cancer. And with Cancer, it's all about nourishment and protection. That's the way everyone's feeling. And with the state of the world right now, I gotta say, there is reason for us to want to be needing protection right now. There is a lot of chaos and warlike events that I see occurring. So everyone's kind of preparing for some difficulty down the road, because this is an intense month. Now, with this full moon, the moon is in the nakshatra Ashlesha. And Ashlesha is, its symbol is a snake. So it deals with underhanded, sneaky events, things that could be going on. But this full moon is opposed an array of planets: Pluto, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. It is a very intense time. And with all those planets in the sign of Capricorn, it's all about government rule and changes within governments around the world. This is really intense, and people are feeling it. I feel like all over the world, and many countries are looking seriously at some events such as Iran. I even see things hyping up in China. So you're going to see that this whole month, we're going to be looking at world affairs and government changes everywhere. It is a very intense time. So let's go to the next day. And I'm looking at my computer here, and I'm looking at Monday. This is February 2nd. And on February 2nd, the moon will go into Leo. And it's starting to align with Ketu. But in Leo, it is in the nakshatra called Magha. Magha deals with our heritage, looking back at our forefathers and our heredity. So you might find that today you really feel connected to your ancestry and your ancestors, and you wonder about things from the past and those who have led the way but are gone now from our lives in this world. This is what this is good for, to actually pay homage to them. But looking at where Mars is, and Venus, Mercury, Sun, Pluto, they're all in the 6th house from the moon, which makes things very, disruptive. This day, things are starting to get even more disruptive. And as the moon comes closer to K2, we're going to feel a sense of that something's lost. All the fighting, all the difficulty that's transpiring in the world right now. It is not an easy time. So now I'm looking at Tuesday, February 3rd. And on this day, the moon, it is still in Leo. It's in Leo the whole day, but it is with K2. There is a sense of loss. And also, Mercury just shifted signs. It is now in Aquarius. And Mercury's going to spend quite a long time in Aquarius, because towards the end of the month, it's going to go retrograde, and it stays there. So Mercury deals with travel and communications, and it's coming together with Rahu. So there's so much intensity around our connections to people around the world and how we come together and communicate. And of course, with Rahu, you can't believe everything you're hearing. That is for sure, because there will be a lot of propaganda being put out. Rahu can mean extremes, and it is not the truth. Now, also, I'm noticing that Mars is going to be exactly what's called a quincunx aspect in Western astrology. In Vedic astrology, it's called an 8-6 relationship, which is extremely difficult. So Mars is aspecting K2, and that can deal with terror or terrorism. So I wish I could say the world was getting better, but it seems like it's getting more intense and more violent. Now, the moon is in the nakshatra called Purva Falguni, which is the nakshatra that deals with creative work, being more creative, getting into our creative mode. So that's the positive outlet that we can have during this time. Now I'm looking at February 4th, and the moon is still in Leo most of the day, but towards the evening it will go into Virgo. But for the most part, it's still in Leo, but it's shifted into the nakshatra Uttara Falguni. Uttara Falguni, both of the Falgunis, Purva and Uttara, do deal with relationships, and this one's the most about relationships. So coming together with our partners, this is a personal thing that you should look at and work out during this time. But we still have these planets in very difficult positions to the moon. The moon seems to be opposed or in an opposition with these planets. Now, the good thing is that Jupiter in Gemini is aspecting Rahu. So I am going to predict that most of this month of February, the stock market will be doing very well, except the economy is not the same as the stock market. So it's going to take some time for things to bounce back with the economy. But the stock market is really revving up here. Now I'm looking at February 5th. It is Thursday, and the moon is in Virgo all day today. And it's actually in the nakshatra called Hasta. And Hasta is a nakshatra that means really grabbing on and holding things, but it is a nakshatra that deals with high intelligence, and it's a time that our minds are clear and we're really thinking hard about the future and what needs to be done. But don't forget, Virgo is the sign of health and healing. And it can be a time where we really change our habits, our diets to improve, get better. Now, looking at the moon, it will oppose Saturn today. And that is not an easy aspect. So there's going to be kind of a heaviness, a melancholy mood out there with the moon in Virgo. So a lot of critical thinking and things of that nature. Now, Mercury, I notice on this day, there's a couple of big things happening. Mercury is squaring, let's see, Uranus. So sudden unexpected events will come about, especially with your thinking process. Remember this, you could come up with some brainstorm ideas that can be really revolutionary. So do look at how your mind is operating and the ingenious things that can come to mind. But there will be a little struggle with communications as well as things are starting to shake up in the world. More so, Uranus's sudden unexpected events. Now, another thing that is happening is the Sun is in the quincunx, the 6-8 relationship with Jupiter. So that's not an easy aspect either. All around, things are kind of frustrating today, so do take heed of this, but it is a good day that sort of like new ideas come in. Pay attention, use them. They are brilliant, genius, but it's hard to communicate them to people. That's what I'm seeing. So now let's look at February 6th. It's a Friday. And looking at that, the moon is still in Virgo most all of the day, yes. And it's in the nakshatra Chitra. Chitra is the bright shining one, and it is a nakshatra of creative value too. But all at the same time, Chitra can be a little harsh. It's ruled by Mars. So people are harsher today. They are not as compliant as days before, but still, this is a day where people are more serious and more astute. Chitra is creative though. Use your creative mind. This is a good day for this. But looking at all the planets, they're going into a difficult placement from the moon. But I will say this, once again, with the Sun and Mars being in the 5th house from the moon, it's a day of creative developments. Use your mind and be more creative. And Jupiter does go to the 10th house from the moon. This is a good day to work on career prospects. This is a good day if you are business-minded to plan your meetings, to come together with people. This would be excellent for that. So now I'm looking at Saturday, February 7th, and the moon has shifted into Libra today. It will be in Libra all day. And it's basically in Chitra part of the day, but it will, towards around 3:30 in the afternoon, go into the nakshatra Swati. And Swati is the communicator. It is the epitome of the businessman, the salesman. So people might try to talk you into certain things and buying things. Don't be persuaded too much, but use this energy for your persuasion over others. Yes. And with the moon here, it's actually in a position where Jupiter is going to be trining the moon. And so this is super positive, but the Sun and Mars are in the 4th house from the moon. So there can be a lot of disruption in the home and possibly even renovating or fixing things in the home. And Venus, Mercury, and Rahu are in the 5th house from the moon. This is extremely positive, especially for creative endeavors. And yeah, and Saturn seems to be in the 6th. So it's a good day to look after your health, to improve your diet, and get on a health kick. So that pretty much wraps up the very first week of February. And like I said, I wish I could say things are getting better, but not with this month coming close to the solar eclipse. This is a time of huge events that will happen in February. So with that, I think I'll close. Get ready to hear about the second week in February. We have a lot going on. So thank you.